The biggest threats to your career may not be politics, it may not be incompetence, it may not even be market conditions, but it might be the emotional wounds that you keep bringing into the room. So let me explain. And if you're new to the podcast, my name is Peggy van der Plash. Thank you for being here. So, for years, I thought that my biggest professional obstacle was incompetence around me. Slower thinkers, insecure gatekeepers, political operators, people blocking momentum. I used to tell myself, if these morons don't spoil this opportunity, Does it sound familiar? And what I eventually realized, quite painfully, is that it was not just them, actually. It was the emotional wound I was bringing into the room. So, what do I mean by that? So, maybe again, if you're listening to a podcast, you might know that. If you don't, let me give you the context. So, I grew up in an environment where I was often invalidated, for my own good, of course, if you know what I mean. So I developed a very effective survival strategy, which was be sharper, be better, be dominant, never be diminished. And it really worked until it didn't. Because what kept me safe as a child, as a young adult, as a maybe junior in my career, was actually quietly sabotaging me as an executive. Excuse me. And so the real problem wasn't really competence from incompetence or competence from other people. It was more threat perception. So when someone interrupted me, slowed a decision, questioned my framing, blocked access, my nervous system didn't think complex organization. It thought intentional diminishment. So I reacted. So how did I react? Subtle sharpness, micro contempt that you can read all over my face, intensity, which you can definitely read on my face and my body. And guess what was that triggering? Well, the insecure people in front of me, could feel that. And that's when they started defending their status. So suddenly I was stuck in a loop. There was an irritant, which happens very often in organizations large and small. I became very intense because I have difficulty with being blocked. That would trigger their insecurity, their defensiveness, my frustration, my intensity, their insecurity, da 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 da. So again, career damage doesn't always come from lack of competence. Sometimes it comes from emotional echo, because it's very difficult for me to get anything done because people get very fearful around me and I get very frustrated. So it don't really work very well. And I've seen this pattern in myself, but I also seen it a lot in executives, that I advise or that I work with across financial services, tech, healthcare, everywhere. It's more common than we admit. So the reality is that most people at work, they are not trying to hurt you. They are actually trying to protect themselves. So when I stopped assuming malice, that people were on purpose trying to undermine me, and sometimes it happened, let's be honest, but assumed self-protection, it was a bit of an eye-opener for me. Like it turns out that, if you walk into a room like I did and sometimes still do, radiating evaluation, people who feel evaluated, they will push back, even if you're right. And I would say, especially if you're right. So for me, in the past, my safety equation was safety equal superiority, which was definitely what I saw when I was a 5-year-old kid. And for me, it was very clear that if I was the strongest person in the room, I felt safe. more difficult to get attacked. But dominance as a safety mechanism really leaks, like it leaks for your eyes, it leaks for your tone, it leaks for your poses, your body language, all that stuff. And insecure system in front, they really react to it. So the upgrade for me was really to equate safety with, self-trust and composure, really composure. Composure is not that easy because there's a lot of work to be done in terms of emotional management in order to stay composed. And so calm is dominance, actually, not intensity, as I was led to believe and actually modeled when I was younger. So I would say the leadership evolution is really that. You don't need to shrink, and you don't need to soften your ambition either, but you may need to stop letting old battles run new meetings. I'm talking about one very specific emotional wound, which was mine. You, I'm sure, have others or maybe the same. But the point is, what do you bring at the meeting table with you? And so the most powerful person in the room, again, it's not the sharpest, it's the one who's the least destabilized. That's that level that's really above competence, like people who are able to emotionally manage themselves. And so if this resonates, I would love to know, what do you think are emotional patterns that make quietly maybe running your meeting, or maybe have you seen other people being run by their own emotional challenges? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all bringing something into the room. I doubt very much I'm the only one. And so the question here is really about, okay, strategy, what do you want to do going forward very purposefully, or is story, and basically bringing whatever crap you had to deal with when you were younger, while being totally unconscious of it. So thank you so much for being here with me, and I'm really, really looking forward to hearing about your thoughts on that. Thank you. Have a good day.